Hi everyone, welcome to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Jackson, and I'm a mindset and manifesting coach from the UK, and I am here to ignite that fire inside of you. If you know you were born for more and you've been thinking things have been feeling a little bit vanilla and a little bit stale, and you are ready to move things forward and manifest the life that lights you up, then you are in exactly the right place. Join me every week for mindset and manifesting tips, plus my weekly energy forecast, and let's get things moving in the direction that you really want to be going with your life, because you were made for magic and miracles, and this is your time. Hi everyone, here we are again, another episode of Manifesting Straight Talk, and I can't wait to dive into this week's episode because I had a bit of an epiphany at the weekend, and I will share that with you. But that's what we're going to be talking about today, the power of epiphanies. Now, we use that word quite a lot, but probably don't really think about what it means. Actually, what that means is you could learn one piece of information, maybe a sentence, maybe just one small piece of information that can completely change everything for you. Now, we spend all of our time searching for the how and thinking, how are things going to work out? What's going to happen? But how open are we to discovering the how? How open are we to discovering that everything could change in a second? Everything could turn around in a minute. Literally, your whole life, your whole trajectory could change instantly. How open are we to that? Now, since I come across The Secret many, many years ago now, I've always said it was like a lightning bolt. It was suddenly like, the heavens had opened, something happened, and my mind just went, whoa, everything is possible, everything can change. And that piece of information turned everything round for me. My whole trajectory changed because I had learned a new piece of information, a new piece of knowledge, and it changed the whole way I looked at the world. So my whole paradigm shifted in that instance. And that is what an epiphany can do. You can take one piece of information and have that light bulb, have that aha, and suddenly, because your thoughts create your reality, your whole paradigm can shift in an instant. But like I said, how open have we been that all it could take is one bit of information, one piece of knowledge? You might have it during this podcast episode. You might listen to the rest of this podcast, and this could change the trajectory of your whole life. Now, I just want you to breathe that energy in. This podcast could change the trajectory and the path of your whole life by having an epiphany. It really is that powerful. And often we have to be open to the fact that that could happen. So for me, since I had that epiphany when I watched The Secret, I literally have been open to a piece of information can change everything for me. I used to always hear it takes one decision to change your life. And I used to think that was a load of bollocks. And I've said this before, but it is true. One decision to believe something different could completely change your whole life. And imagine that. You might have been searching for the how, you might have been listening to manifesting podcasts, you might have been trying to learn how to change your life, learn how to change your business, learn how to expand and grow to rapid momentum. Whatever that is for you, you might have been searching for that for a long, long time. And actually, the choice to be open, the choice to be able to learn a piece of information and possibly change your life in a second, that openness might have been what it needs to take to change your trajectory. To actually not overanalyze, not look for this complicated solution, which we always think it's going to be. Actually, it might just be one single piece of information. And this is the power of epiphany, but it's also the power of being open to it. It's also the power of not letting our logical mind jump in and create a monster that you need all of these things to fix you. You need all of these things to make everything happen. To become a millionaire, you need to have this mass following. You need to have this mass email list. You need to have, be a big influencer. So you're not going to be able to do it till you put all them pieces in place. And all of that is just overcomplicating the how. You might have one epiphany one day that just totally changes everything. And actually, your logician will still kick in and try and tell you it's not true. But as long as you are open to believing it, and as long as you are open to absorbing that amazing information, you can literally change everything. So at the weekend, I had an epiphany. I have had a few months in. If anybody knows me personally, there has been a lot going on that has literally made me look at life in a bit of a different way. So I've had a lot of stepping back, healing, taking a bit of time out. I've still been showing up, but in my mind, not as much. I've been overthinking, I've been analysing, I've been trying to plan a lot and not getting a lot planned. Which isn't normally my go-to place. But this has given me so much reflection time and so much time to stop the doing and stop the pushing and relax into me being supported and the abundance coming in no matter what, and seeing all of the amazing stuff the universe has to offer when you take a step back, when you stop your old habits, when you stop pushing, you allow and you receive. And actually what I seen at the weekend just really, really embodied this for me. So I was out walking and it was a bit of a random day. Mike, my partner, had decided to go and get something from the back end of Cumbria, back in the hills, shall we say. And he went to pick something up and we said, why don't we go and visit the waterfall while we're there? So we set off, we went to visit the waterfall, and we were walking down by the river and wondering where to go. We didn't really know the paths. Mike had done it years ago, but we were a little bit lost, but just following our feet and finding our way. Suddenly we come to a sign, an old style wooden sign that had been put up, and we started looking at the sign and Mike went, well, can you make that one out? So when you looked at the sign, there was a sign for Dalegarth Falls to the left and Dalegarth Falls to the right. Both ways were 900 yards to Dalegarth Falls. So left and right, both paths, 900 yards. The only difference this lovely sign had actually drawn on, whether you were walking, whether you were cycling, whether you were taking a horse and cart, who knows? So each side had its own way, its own route of getting there, whichever version of transport you were on. And then the sign pointing the other way, so going backwards, was back to the station where we started off from. So I took a picture of this sign because I just thought that's quirky, didn't really think much of it. And when we got back, I wanted to look back at the sign again and think, yeah, there's something about that. There's something in that is piquing my interest. But it didn't really register till I got home. So we took the walk, we took the path where it said to walk rather than to take the horse and cart. And we went and it was a lovely walk. It was so good. And you might have seen I did a reel from the viewing station all about thinking of the what ifs. So there was a lot of ahas on this walk. And this is what happens when you take time off and get out in nature. Your mind opens up to all this possibility. So I went and I seen the gorgeous waterfall and I stood on the viewing platform and I was hovering over the peak of this drop. And it was incredible. And when I got home, I started to look at the picture of the sign. And it really drew me in because at first I just thought it was funny and quirky. But then I realized it's actually a sign for me, a sign from the universe. This wasn't just a sign in a wood that was random. It was a sign for me. And what it was telling me was it doesn't matter whether you turn left or right. It doesn't matter which direction you decide to travel. You are going to end up exactly where you need to be. You are always going to end up watching the waterfall. Whether you go left or right today, you are going to be watching that waterfall. The only difference is the ease of the path that you choose. And each path takes the same length of time and gets you to exactly where you need to be. The only thing that is ever going to hold you back is not taking one of the paths or going backwards back to the station. So that just hit home to me. I've been worrying about the how, and the how is not to be worried about. I've been thinking about planning my courses, planning the way that I have a journey through what I teach and what I want to share with the world. And whilst I've been doing all this planning, I've not actually been sharing as much as I can with the world as I should have been sharing. So actually it made me decide to just dive in. This path might be right, this next path might be right. But the thing is, my desires are my end point. Seeing that waterfall is the end point. My desires are already programmed in. I've already asked for them. They are already there. Everything that is coming my way is leading me to that point. So whether I get there by choosing left or right, it doesn't matter because I am always going to get there. The only thing that is going to stop me is by not moving or going backwards. And that is not a paradox I am even willing to acknowledge. So I ask you, if you are clear on your desires, and this is where people get stuck too, often they think, I don't know what I want, but what do you want next? That is all you need to answer. What do you want next? What would be the thing that lights you up next? It doesn't have to be your 40-year plan. We are not signing up to a lifelong job like we used to do when I remember when I started in the bank and everybody said, oh, you've got a job for life. A job for life now would petrify me. I wouldn't want a job for life. That would be the most boring thing in the world. But back in the day, and what we're all programmed to think, we need that job for life. We need that security. You don't need that with your desires. You don't need that with your dream. You could start a business today. You could change it in a year. You could start a business tomorrow. You could have it for 5 years and then change it. It doesn't matter. My podcast has changed its name twice in the space of 2 years. It doesn't matter. You are all still listening to me. Nobody's left. You all get the concept of what I do. So it doesn't matter. You have the ability to change your mind. You just need to choose a direction and put your foot forward, because the direction could be this or it could be that. And it doesn't matter. It will still get you to exactly where you need to be because your desires are programmed in. Your desires are actually coming to your mind. They're coming to your imagination. They're coming to your heart because the divine matrix has already rooted them in for you. There is something about you and about those desires that needs to be brought to life in this lifetime. So you are never going to miss it. And the fact that you have that desire is because you probably made that choice long before you even came to be on earth in this lifetime. So please stop doubting your desires. Stop doubting your way forward and just choose left or right and go for it. Go for it because you will reach them. But if you've been stalling like I had and you've been letting excuses and letting your logician mindset take over, then that is why you are still where you started off from. So please have that courage today. Be open to epiphanies. I hope this one was a good one for you. But be open to that power that just by moving forward, you could change your trajectory very, very quickly. Every time you move forward, you will get a new piece of information. That piece of information could be the thing that changes everything. That piece of information could be the bit that rocket fuels you to that destination. So suddenly you're not taking your 900 yards path, you are leaping to that waterfall instantly. So imagine all you have to do is keep moving forward and be open to the epiphanies that come your way. Because believe me, when you are open, they come. I already had two on that walk. One was about not doubting yourself and not doubting the what ifs. So they're all a key theme. And then the next one was about the direction of travel. So it really can happen instantly. And these have just rocket fueled me to get my act together, get my next program out, and just get myself back in order, get myself teaching, get myself back out there doing what I love to do. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please drop me a comment on one of the social media platforms. If you're not already following me, all the links are in the show notes. So come and follow me. We have lots of fun. And also I will be launching, because this give me the epiphany, this give me the nudge, but I will be launching my Magnificence program today. So I cannot wait for that. So all the links will be available as of tonight. So make sure you come and check that out. I am going to be teaching you about all the archetypes and the levels of consciousness, and also how to become a magnet for your desires, because it all happens from the inside out and you really can create your version of heaven on earth. So please come and join me. If you want to learn more about that, come and ask me any questions. I am open. This is going to be an amazing experience, and it really is going to take everything to that next level so that you can learn to collapse that timeline, leap to that waterfall sooner than later. So come and join me for that. And also, I hope you have the most amazing epiphanies this week. Catch you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope you loved every minute of it. If you want to follow me on social media, all the links are in the show notes, and I will catch you next week for more Manifesting Straight Talk.